There is a basic truth that is easy to understand. It's an understanding that there is no difference between us. The perception of difference is division. Old or young, black or white, rich or poor, we are all living on the same planet. We are all under the same sun and eat and drink to live. There is no difference. Let's go down almost as small as we can go and see how silly being divided is. Would you discriminate between a sperm and an egg? They look different, but only together can they form new life and possibility. And their coming together creates a unique individual that can be of either sex and is the future of the species. To stand between a sperm and an egg is to prevent human existence. So where does the sperm and egg come from? Well, it comes from humans, regardless of skin colour, monetary background, race. Division is ludicrous. You think yourself better than someone who has lived in the ghettos their whole life? If you were drowning, would you care if the hand offered to save you would come from a CEO in a suit, or a man who was dropped from his wheelchair to reach out to you? The story in the Bible of the Tower of Babel describes a humanity united to build a city. This story has made me wonder in its telling. The human race, being of a single language and movement toward a common goal, decides to build a city and a tower that might reach to the heavens. Now, if I remember correctly, this was a time when God or gods walked amongst us. It's supposedly recorded that God said that if this was accomplished, there would be nothing humanity could not do, and so he confounded the language and the people were cast abroad. The reason I am confused with this story is although we were individuals, and as such had our own lives, when we worked together it seemed God or the gods felt so threatened by this that they had to make us all speak and act differently in groups so as not to achieve a singular greatness. That always seemed odd to me. The point is, it seems together there is nothing we can't achieve. Division is misery. We are all the same animal living on the same earth. The only thing we need to flourish is to treat each other the same or better than we would have ourselves be treated. Unfortunately, the environments forced or given to some, like religion, power, greed, oppression, etc., has made it extremely difficult for them to realize that simply helping others will make the world an exponentially better place. But the irony does not escape me that we would have to do this all together. It's true that we are all individuals. We are all different. Do what you will with other consenting adults, but respect others' right not to agree. There is no shame in being different, old, young, sexual orientation, skin pigment, but divide yourself publicly and compartmentally from others in the human race, and you lessen yourself and others. Every individual is special in their own way. It's time we demand respect for all, not just a group of the day. Everyone is oppressed in some way. Roaming gangs of armed thugs, bosses treating you like dirt at work, prison time for misdemeanors, police harassment, taxation without representation, ageism, sexism, racism. I'm not saying the level of oppression is equal, but the secret here is do not fall into division. That's how it continues in some form, and in some cases gets worse. We used to be better than this. The actual solution is supporting one another with the same rights and freedoms, and more of them. If we feel we need to write down what our rights are, there must be inclusive fundamental rights fought for and won for every human, not individual groups. When we realize we do not need 1,000 laws when one will do, we will all ultimately have no need for that one law. Of course, the only reason to write them down, because for some strange reason they do not seem to be self-evident, is that we have been divided for so long that we've forgotten that when we point a finger of blame, we're not helping either their circumstances or our own judging mentality that in some cases led to the issue in the first place. Black lives matter? All lives matter. Everyone deserves the same fundamental rights. It's the same message, but inclusive. Do we need white lives matter and brown lives matter, etc.? No. Respect for all. LGBTQ? No. All sexual orientations matter. Add straight to that. You want respect, so do others. We should all be judged by our actions as human beings. Believe it or not, there are work areas dominated by gays, and heterosexuals feel they are the minorities and are treated differently. Should they stand for straight rights and fairness in the workplace? How about a workplace where everyone helps each other and makes it a more bearable chore so we can all get home to do what we really want to do? Let's be the best human beings we can be for others when we interact, and do what makes us as an individual happy when we are with our loved ones or having some time alone. If you fight for rights for all humanity, we all grow and prosper. Then we will outgrow the system and not need it. Our artificial system is the reason we have to demand rights at all. But when you do have to demand them, is what you demand good enough just for you? Or would everyone benefit from your work bringing this to light? By excluding groups, other parts of humanity, you essentially say they are worth less than you and your group. I hear this from unions. They say, "We will fight for our members, but you'll have to fight on your own because you are not part of our group." Do you not think people might join you more readily if you make things better for all employees? Will you create a better work environment when your group earns more than the others? Or are you really saying you can only have it better if you join our group and pay for the privilege? Look, everyone is here in this world for a reason, no matter how small. You can feel it. The sooner we realize that working together with respect, no matter our starting point, is a more encouraging future rather than trying to create our own personal Tower of Babel, the quicker humanity can move forward, and the quicker the generations to come will realize we are more than just the sum of our parts, and that working together can be so powerful as to put the fear into the gods themselves. You know, I've gone a very long-winded way about saying that one phrase, if believed and followed by everyone, would make this world a utopia. That phrase is, treat each other the same or better than you would like to be treated yourself. Following these words alone would end hunger, homelessness, war, law, prejudice, usury notes, inequality. We would remember that there is no difference fundamentally between us, except what society puts a label on or the box we put ourselves in. These false gods that run society and divide us because they saw how much stronger we could be working as one, they split us into different countries and languages so we could be controlled and set upon each other. When we remember that there is nothing we cannot achieve when we work together, there will be no need to build that tower to the heavens. We will have created heaven right here at our feet.